but now it is time for the beginners workshop. So Alfred, it was really cool to have a look at JSXGraph. I want to start. I want to draw a point. What do I need? What do I have to do?
Yeah. So yeah, JSXGraph. I have written down some notes which we will post later on in the forum. Yeah, what are the minimum requirements for developing JSXGraph? The first thing is you need a web browser. We saw Firefox. We saw maybe you're using Apple Safari, Google Chrome, Microsoft Edge. Actually, it doesn't matter too much, especially at the beginner level. And we need the same thing like David used right now. We need a text editor. And there are many choices, countless choices. And I will use Visual Studio Code like David did. And actually, there are more sophisticated methods to combine web browser and text editor. I will use the most simple one. And well, and then you need one more thing, namely the internet connection. So let's start. I installed Visual Studio Code, and I have a working directory by Bayreuth 2025. And I pre-designed a few HTML pages, page 1, page 2, page 3. Like this. Maybe you can read it now. And yeah, and you can see the content here. I will describe in a minute. First thing is we open Visual Studio Code. You can do it over the program menu. I do it on the command line. I say code Visual Studio Codes should open this directory. And then we see all the files you saw here in my list. They are now available here in Visual Studio Code. And I should, I don't want, well, we should could do it with Copilot. I have no idea, just close it for a moment. And yeah, and then we have page 1. It's an HTML page. And this is probably this is necessary for basic, even for basic JSXGraph development. You need some knowledge, at least a basic knowledge about HTML. How is a web page composed? And then actually JSXGraph is a library for JavaScript, for the programming language JavaScript. Then knowledge about JavaScript is also not bad. Tom will tell you in his talk, he will tell you a different story about and present something about TypeScript, which might be more familiar for you, but we use the old style JavaScript. Okay, then just to say something about where you can learn more. If you are tired today, then there will be in the notes, there are links about JSXGraph on YouTube, introduction on YouTube, and a JSXGraph handbook or beginner's manual. It's written by, both are done by Igor Pešek, a colleague from Maribor in Slovenia. And then, of course, the wiki and the database where you can see, where you can get inspirations. For example, or not for example, you see this database with 200 examples, and every construction comes with source code. So here you see the source code for this construction. Okay, it might look a little bit strange to you now, but in half an hour it will be a different story. And if you want to try it out, maybe I say this now. If you want to try this construction out, you can download it as a fully functional HTML file. You can download the JavaScript, and you can print it, of course. You can get a QR code, a link, and you can open it in a JS Fiddle. And then you have this working construction together with the source code. The JavaScript code is here, and then you can change some things like this number, and then or even more, and then you see immediately the results, and you can share these results with your friends and colleagues. So this is easily done with our database, and we hope that this inspires to start with existing constructions and adapt it to your needs. Okay. And of course, if you want to know the full story, you can go to the API documentation and learn everything, learn the details, look up the details. For example, circle. Yeah, I expected something else. Yeah, and here we have some method radius to get the radius. Okay.
But this looks quite advanced. What
Yeah.
about the point?
But this is for the not for the day. Okay. Yeah. Now, what you could do is you can download these pages, page 1 from the Moodle course. I hope I wanted to do it. I hope I have done it. I didn't do it. Sorry, I will. I got interrupted. So they should be here in a minute. And until they are until the forum is updated, I want to explain it a little bit to you. So this is HTML, and here in this in this stuff in the heading, JSXGraph is loaded. It's loaded and it's taken from a server called JSDeliver. So it's on. You can do it only online. Of course, you can download JSX. There's two files. You can download them onto your computer, and then you can do everything on offline. Okay, then the next step is we will have a rectangular area on our web page where JSXGraph is displayed. Yeah, that's it. Here in the JavaScript part, there's a comment, nothing is active. So now the Google, the HTML template should be in the forum. So please send me a message or some signs or in Zoom or in the chat that you have downloaded it, that you succeeded.
Yes, thank you, Alfred. That works.
Pardon me?
That works perfect. We downloaded it.
Okay, I will continue now. You see my Visual Studio Code. There is this HTML template, and we can add some HTML code. Let's say our first JSXGraph construction. And I have to store it to save it. Okay. Then now we want to show exactly this page, this HTML file. We want to show it in the browser. For this, there are several possibilities. One possibility is to open an Explorer, or on the Mac world, the Finder, and drag this page into the browser. There are most of this if you're doing it a lot of time, then there are better ways to set up the whole workflow, but actually this is the fastest way for the beginner. So, and now we want to work on our web page. We can we can say, okay, here it is. Okay, we change the page. I save it, and now I'm doing a reload. and then you see this page. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So this is the HTML page, and you already see a square. And if I change the size of the web page, the square adapts to it until a maximum size. And this is done in this division. Its layout is max width is 800 pixel, and aspect ratio is 1:1. It means it's a square. So we can also do 2:1 or take something different. And if it's 2:1, then it's like this. Okay. And in this the division, in this element, we will display JSXGraph. And one way to do it is like this. With this command, JSXGraph init board. It's a little bit complicated, I know. Init board. Yeah. Then the JSXGraph is initiated. No. What happened? And here we need to have the sure. I didn't store. Yeah. Yeah, here it is. Okay. Okay, now this small message appeared, JSXGraph 1.12, and you see some navigation bars on the bottom. This is a sign that JSXGraph has loaded. Okay, and now it seems to work, but what does this line mean? So we called this division in line 13. We called it, gave it the ID box, and now with the first parameter, we can tell JSXGraph to initialize a drawing board, a canvas in this element with the ID box. So these two names must coincide. And then there's another parameter which consists of curly brackets, and there we can configure this board somehow. The first thing is we give a bounding box. It's not good to see at the moment. To make it clear, we can add another attribute, namely axis true. And these attributes, like bounding box, and it's a key value pair. You give a key and a value separated by a colon. Yeah, and these key value pairs have to be separated by a comma. So, okay, now we changed it and we have to reload the page. And now you see the axis. And what do we see? The x-axis starts at -5 and goes to +6, and the same for the vertical axis. And this can be seen in the bounding box. So the first two numbers are the coordinates of the top left corner of this rectangle, and the third and the fourth parameter are the bottom right coordinates of this division. So we could also do 10 and -1. Yeah, then it's 10 and -1. And here it's again -5 and 6. So I undo this. Okay. Yeah, okay. This is the workflow. We type in something here and then we do a reload. And maybe one more thing. If we introduce a JavaScript error, like deleting this character and do a reload, then it's the error is noticed here or printed out here. So again, how did I get this console? I click with the right button, a mouse button on the white space and go to what is it called in English? Here in German, it's untersuchen.
Inspect, I think.
Inspect, yeah, exactly. And then go to console. So, and then now there seems to be an error in line 16, and it's this. And Visual Studio Code also already detects this as an error. So, okay. So, any questions so far? Oh, then I will proceed.
I'm waiting for the point.
Yeah. Now we will create a point. And yeah, so our drawing canvas is called board, or I call it board, yeah. And then we want to create something inside of it, so we call its method create. And then there are 3 parameters. And 3 parameters. The first is a string. With this string, we tell JSXGraph what kind of element we want to create. Carsten wants a point, so we say point. Then in the square brackets, we need to give to tell JSXGraph the construction data for this point. In that case, where is the initial point? What are the initial coordinates of that point? For example, like in our script, 2, -2, -2, and 1. So -2 is the x coordinate and 1 is the y coordinate. And then we can style this point. We don't need it, and we already can omit this parameters. This third parameter, we don't need it. Okay. Then, yeah, let's look at it, at the result. And here it is. There's a point called automatically A, capital A, at -2, 1. And if the user hovers with the mouse over that point, then its coordinates are displayed. So let's do a second point. At position 3, 0. Yeah. And this point is called B automatically. You can change this, and you will see in a moment. And you can, by default, these points can be dragged around. Okay. Now we want to have a handle to this point, so we want to use this point later on. So we call it Q, the second one, and the first one we call it P. This is not correct or not good JavaScript, because as a programmer you may know that now we set the variable P to be a handle to this first point, and the second one a handle to the second point. And we have to declare variables. So there are several methods. The old style JavaScript method, it would be to declare a variable and initialize it with something, would be to use the keyword var. The new one is to use the keyword const. So you can do what you, let's stay with var at the moment, doesn't matter for us today. Yeah, for the construction, nothing changes. So, and now, but now we are ready to create a new line. So we can create line. Yeah, we want to create this. This line should run through the points P and Q. No? Okay, then this line can be created. And you can manipulate this line by dragging the points, or you can drag this line directly. Then the points are manipulated if they are allowed to move. So sometimes the points may be fixed because they are an intersection point of some other elements, and they are somehow fixed. But here they are free. Okay.
Alfred, how can I change the names A and B to P and Q?
Yeah, good question. So we can add this third parameter I mentioned before. And say the first name equals to Q. It's a, so it's a string, it needs some it's need either single or double quotes, doesn't matter in JavaScript. I type 2 times Q. The first one is P, the second one is Q. And but I will leave this to be to show you something else. So you can also use the second point by, or every point by its name. So you can also take the string B now. And it works exactly the same. Okay, so let's change it to Q if you want. Okay, so but this is not the only possibility to create a line. You can input a point directly, for example, like this. You can say, okay, the line should I have to fight with my from minus 3, 1 to let's say 3, minus 1. So you can specify the coordinates, the defining points of the line directly. Let's do it by minus 4. Do it like this. Okay. And then you can translate this line and but not change its slope with a desktop computer. But here's the difference between a mobile application and a desktop computer. With if you have a touch device, then you could rotate this line with 2 fingers. This would be possible. So there's a slight gap between mobile and non-mobile, or non-touch or in touch.
Thank you, Alfred. You answered my question before asking it.
Okay. We can add more attributes. For example, we can say, and attributes are also key value pairs. So we have a key name and a value Q, so string Q. We can say it's, for example, fixed to true. So this point Q. And then it's not, we are not longer able to move these points, but this point, and we're not longer able to move this line. We have to rotate, but it rotates when if we move the point, the other point. And there are many options or attributes we can change. For example, we can change the face of this point, like here we can take square brackets open and close, and then it's a little square. And if you Want to have it larger, then you can supply size. I give now the value of 16. And these are pixels. And now it's done in pixels. Okay. And of course, we want to do colors. So I change the first size for the first. So size 8. And we can do two things. We can give a color string like blue. Or we can do multiple things. We can have we can change the color. But you see that if I drag the point or the mouse has the focus, then the color changes. You can change also this color and use, for example, fill color equal to yellow. No, not fill color. It's highlight color. Sorry. So if it's highlighted, it doesn't work. Why not? Actually, this color is actually we are having two colors, namely I will show it to you, and then use my fill color. So we have stroke color and fill color. And now you see how this element is composed. So it has an outline. This is a stroke, and it can receive a color. And the inner part is filled. And you can have the same for highlight. Stroke color and highlight fill color. Here I name yellow and blue. And now what happened? It doesn't work because I forgot a comma to separate the attributes. Now you can see that the colors are inverted if they get the focus, and maybe the outline stroke is a little bit too thin. Then we can change this with stroke width. It's also in pixels. Let's take 3. Or let's take 5. Okay. So there are hundreds of attributes which can be changed, and I can own. You have to look at examples, what's happening, how is it done, or what is used, or look at the API documentation. So, and then I want to show you um, two other attributes for the for the for the line, for the second line through P and Q. Namely, I can say straight last false. What does that make? So this means the line ends at the second point. And it's not an infinite line in this direction anymore. And of course, you can, or you might assume that we can also do a straight first, false, and then it starts at P. Let's do true again. This is the default value. And then we can also change the style. We can do a dashing. And it looks like this. Now it's dashed. And there are several values for the dash attribute. You can do it dotted or different sizes of the segments. Okay. As I said, I prepared some notes for you. I will upload it immediately after the tutorial in the forum. There will be links to this HTML. Here's it. To this JSXGraph handbook. There you see it explained in more details. You can find these initial examples explained in more details. Yeah. The next thing is we go over to page 2. Name style. And we change here page 2. And we can have so I will take the 2 points and let's say take this out. So they will be named A and B. And maybe it's a good idea to call them A and B. And the next thing would be to have a circle. P and Q. And yeah, they don't, I call them A and B. Now let's take A and B. Now we have a circle through A and B, which means the first point is the center of the circle, and the second point is a point on the circle line, defining the distance of the 2 points define the radius. And you can also do something else, namely you can define a second circle through B with the center B, and let's say we take a fixed radius 1.5. And then this radius is fixed. It's fixed on my desktop with 2 fingers. If you have a touch device, you can, and you don't specify it otherwise, you can drag this point apart, this circle apart, and change its radius. Okay. Now I want to open page 3. It's also exactly the same. I add axis. And now we want to do function plotting. And well, the command is, or the name of this element is function graph. And then we have to specify a function term. And we can do it, for example, so we have to specify a JavaScript function, which also may be a JavaScript arrow function. So like x is mapped to x times x. I want to avoid the problem of David, and I don't want to take power. We can take power too. Let's take power like this. So x is mapped to x squared, like this. And optionally, there are 2 more parameters, namely the domain. So it's maybe from -2 to 6. So then it's from -1. From -1 is the left border to 6, which is not reached. So of course, we can also use function of x and return x squared. It's also possible. Okay, this is nice, and it shows a function. But usually we want to have something more dynamically. The user can do something. And for this, we need an element to manipulate such a function. And the easiest way is to use a slider, something which we call slider, not create, slider. And such a slider has 3 elements. Namely, in fact, it's more or less like a line, and we need a starting point and an end point. So let's take -4, 5. up to minus 1, 5. And then there's a third parameter, namely we have to give the range of the slider. Let's say minus 10, 1, 10. I will say a minute, explain it in a minute. Let's first look at it. Okay, so we have a slider, and this line of the slider is positioned at from minus 4, 5 to minus 1, 5. And now we can drag this slider around. And its value is shown. Okay, and in the beginning, so it runs, the slider value runs from minus 10 to 10. And its initial value is at 1, is equal to 1. Okay, and then we can create another function term, a function graph, and use the slider value. Now we don't restrict the domain. The slider is called a variable name called s. Take this s and take its method value. So it's s times x squared. And let's do this plus minus 4 to separate the two function graphs. So here the first function graph that now shifted down by 4 units. And here we have this new function graph, which is now dynamic. Namely, we can change its values, its function term, by dragging the slider. Okay? This makes the whole thing dynamic. Okay, then I want to add another possibility for function graphs. Here. Now we want to plot a sine curve. And for this, we have to call the JavaScript method mathSine. And let's say plus 2 to separate it a little bit from the others. And let's say stroke color red. Okay, here's the sine curve. And but this is not nice, especially if you're working with students. And for this, we have developed our own language, programming language. It's called Jesse Code. And so if you can also supply a string with, let's say, usual mathematical names, and that's sine of x, and this is now interpreted as a function, as the usual sine function. And it's exactly no, sorry. We don't need a function. We just have to give the function term as a string. Sorry. And here it is. And We can also add, make it dynamic. And for this, as a string, we can make it dynamic. For this, we take our slider and give it a name. Name slider. Sly, I call it Sly. And now we have to access this slider by its name. And so Sly, and can call value times x. No? And now you see it's maybe it's not the best. What I wanted to do is I want to change the frequency. I put it inside of the parameter of sine. And now you can change the frequency. Everything is dynamic. Okay, and finally, what we want to do is have some text. For this, we have the element text. And for example, we can the usual syntax is we have to give a position. So it's let's put it there. So -4 -2, the beginning of the string, and then some string text. And of course, you can style this code in many ways. You can for example, set the font size. And yeah, but now we want to show the frequency of this, actually the value of these sliders, the frequency. And we can do this also dynamically. We instead of a string, we supply a function, JavaScript function, and let's call it frequency equals, and then plus we add s dot value. This will not look very nice in the beginning because it's too long, and we have to but this is JavaScript. We can around this number to a string with 2 digits after the dot. And then it looks like this. Okay, and also this string is, as you see, this string is dynamic. Yeah. No, I will show it different. So um, yeah, and I will skip now. Skip this now. But I just can promise it to you. So there's also the possibility to use as output math checks, though you can do nice mathematical um, mathematical formatting of the texts of the formulas, and so this is, you can really produce high quality text output inside of JSXGraph, which updates. There are some search for math checks. Yeah, here it is. No, that's not here. Yeah. For example, here's another application uh, similar to that what Andreas showed us, and you see the output is formatted with mass check with LaTeX, and it adapts to it's dynamic. You can change the values of the slider, and it changes the output dynamically. Okay, this is what I wanted to show you at the start of JSXGraph. There are many more things you can do with it. So we have all these geometry elements. Then we have a lot of function plotting, a lot of numerical mathematical methods. And we have a lot of 3D functionality, which is quite new, but it's already quite usable, and yeah, it's quite usable, and but it will be improved further in the next, hopefully near time. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Alfred, for this beginner's workshop. You created a point and function graphs. I think the function graph, this is maybe a little bit advanced, but I see there are a lot of possibilities to do my own JSXGraph constructions. And thank you very much for listening. Are there any questions? Alfred, I think all of the listeners are experts.
Yeah.
So they are waiting for the
For the
tomorrow's
real.
workshop.